Good morning guys, as you can hear the engine is running, the wind is just picking up, it's a beautiful morning. Our plan is to go in a special anchorage here on northern part of the Guadeloupe. It will be a tricky channel to go into, but hopefully it will be not that tricky as it looks in the chart. The engine is running, hopefully we can hoist the sails soon. It's not much wind, but it's so nice to shut off the engine and just glide along. We're doing like 2 knots of speed into 4 to 6 knots of wind.
It looked so promising when we hoisted the sails, but now we're down to 0 to 1 knots of wind. So I think it's time to start the engine again. We sailed for about 10 minutes, or maybe not even sailed, more drifted. But the last part of today's trip is in between the reefs, so we really want to do that in daylight. And that means that we can't drift all day. So, engine it is.
Finally sailing again. The wind picked up a bit. It's quite windy now actually. We're doing 7 knots over ground, and it's blowing, I think around 10 to 15 knots. And it's a bit rainy, so it's a bit cold. I think I will take a sweater on me or something. But we're sailing and the engine is off and it's super nice.
There's so much fishing gear here. It's almost like being back in Spain. They're poorly marked out, and mostly it's just like plastic bottle that's turning green because it's been in the water for a long time. So they're not very easy to spot, and it's just keeping a sharp lookout all the time.
It turned out to be a quite sporty sail now. We've been motoring for some while now, but now we are on the north tip of the west side of Guadeloupe, and it's now it's windy, really windy, but it's a nice sail. It's fun.
The waves finally calmed down. We are pretty close to the east wing of the Guadeloupe island. People often say that it looks like a butterfly with the two wings and a little canal in the middle. And right now the east side wing is protecting us from the swell, which is really nice because the first hours it was kind of rough beating. So we have a little less 2 nautical miles until we're at the point where we head into between the reefs. So it looks like this could be our final beating leg. We are rolling up the jib so that we will be able to see a little bit better. There's a marked channel into the anchorage, but it's still very shallow outside that channel, and probably here are a few sandbanks that might move around a bit. So we're going to keep a good lookout, that it's much easier without the jib. Also, sailing with just the mainsail reduces the speed, so we're at a bit more safer pace, and we also have more movability if we need to change course quickly or something like that. Pro tip, if you're ever struggling with rolling up your jib or genoa and having it flapping back and forth in the wind, we actually learned this a few years ago, and the tip is that you should fall off down to a broad reach, maybe a bit more, so that your main sail takes all the wind out of the foresail, because then you will have a smooth shape when you roll it up, and there won't be any pressure on it, so it will be easy to roll up. Even I can do it by just pulling in the line. So that's a very good tip if you're struggling with it. I'm a first navigator and on short duty now, so we're heading into this little white area here between the shallows and coral reefs, and then the anchorage is down there. And Marcus is on steering duty. are sailing, it's like 30 meters deep, but just behind me it's like 0.3, so kind of crazy. The sailing here was actually not as bad as we had expected. It was a lot more room to maneuver than it looked like in the charts, so it was actually really easy. And in here it's totally flat waters. It's been months since we've been in an anchorage where there's just no swell rolling in as the sun is setting. So we have really high hopes for good sleep tonight.
Good morning, guys. Just wanted to show you how calm this anchorage is. Since we came to Caribbean, it's been always like some swell or some waves coming into the anchoring spots that we have been visiting. But since this is like all into the mangrove swamp tresk, no swells comes in at all, and it's super flat. So the boat is so still. It's always like it's on land. It's not the nicest water to swim in or bathe in or so, but it's a nice place to get stuff fixed. It's a big shopping mall here with some hardware stores and Decathlon and sports stores and that stuff. We have to fix some of that practical stuff sometimes, and it's also nice that it's so flat, so we can sleep very well. It's not the most beautiful place, but it's still quite cool place with the mangroves and so on. Maybe you can think that it's a lot of mosquitoes and that stuff, but since this bay is so big, there's no mosquitoes or something flying all the way out to the boat. So it's just super flat, super calm, super well protected, and no bugs and mosquitoes and stuff. But yeah, the downside, you cannot swim because the water is quite green and yeah, ugly.
We are out on a dinghy ride today.
Dinghy adventure.
Yes, quite long. It's about 6 to 7 nautical miles in a mangrove river. Flood. Yeah, something like that. The first part from the boat was a bit wet. There were quite a lot of waves. I don't know if you can see, but I'm soaked.
Yeah.
But now we're inside the mangrove and the water is flat, so full steam ahead.
Yeah.
Are heading to the other side of the butterfly wings. So on the south side there's a marina where we have friends, and there's also supposed to be a good marine store. So that's where we're heading. You could also go there by bus, but we figured this is probably more fun. A couple of years ago, it was possible to take your big boat with mast and everything because they opened the bridges here. But they stopped with that for some reason. So now it's only possible to go here with small boats that could either get under the bridge or like dinghies or boats. But yeah, quite easy to get between the south and north side of the island when you could go just through here.
We were quite salty after the dinghy ride, so it was very nice to find a tap with fresh water to rinse us off.
These are the stores. They are closed for lunch.
But we are also hungry, so it's lunch. Let's grab something to eat.
Lunch first. Somehow we always end up eating pizza, but pizza's good.
Gel coat repair. I think this is one.
Perfect.
Perfect. So we're ready to dinghy back to the boat to the north side of Guadeloupe, back into the mangrove channel. We chopped some stuff in the marine store. We got hold of most of the stuff we needed. There's a lot of shops very close to each other here, so it's very convenient.
Unfortunately, our friends are not back from their day trip yet, but it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon and it took almost 1.5 hours to get here. So we really need to go if we want to go back before it gets dark. And we really want to get back before it gets dark. So let's go.
like grow their roots from the top of the tree down into the water. It's saltwater mangrove trees, but they look really, yeah, the mangroves look really crazy. It's a crazy tree.
This might be the calm before the storm, because we can feel already in here that it has picked up since this morning. So the last part is going to be wet. That's the exit, so we're almost at the end of the river or canal. Is it a good sign there's a windsurfer? We made it back, and it was actually not that bad as we might have expected. The wind had turned a bit, so we had the waves straight from behind, which made it pretty comfortable and not so wet. And now project desalting has started, because everything, clothes, bags, shoes, everything is super salty.
The dinghy is up, and we have rinsed off all our salt, so now we can make some dinner and watch a movie.
Thanks for following along on our sailing trip. If you'd like to help us keep developing these videos, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and give the video a thumbs up. Until next time, fair winds everyone, and see you soon.